I was 7 years old when I felt insecure about my weight for the first time. Of course, it wouldn't be the last. In fact, that moment in math class when I had to use my weight as the data was only the beginning of all the mental turmoil and self-loathing that came inevitably accompanied by growing up as a big girl in a world much smaller than I reached age 11, and by then it was undeniably clear that I just didn't look like the rest of the girls I went to school with, and I didn't look like any of the girls on TV. In fact, I didn't know anybody that looked like me, so there must have been something wrong with me, right? Because this world was made for small bodies, and I just took up too much goddamn space. Or at least that's what the boys who had lockers next to mine told me as they yelled at me for blocking their lockers with my mile-wide body and made fun of the size of my favorite jacket. Of course, that was enough for me to hate that jacket for the rest of eternity, as it became a symbol of proof for why looking different, in my case, meant looking disgusting. I was fat, and everyone wanted to make sure I knew it, as though I hadn't spent every waking moment of the past 12 years of my life looking my body up and down in the mirror, searching for just one thing to like about it. I never found anything to like about the way my stomach jutted out or the way my thighs spread wider than most of my friends' bodies when I sat down. I mean, how could I? I was spending every day of my life surrounded by people who hated me for looking the way that I did, surrounded by people that wrote Facebook statuses about a girl that they referred to as Sergeant Tubbs and a girl that they insisted would live her life a complete and utter failure because no one wanted to look at or be around a fat, disgusting waste of fucking space. So you know what that girl did? She started starving herself, 13 years old, making sure I barely ate, wrapping my stomach in tight cloth before going to school each day, terrified of anyone seeing the body that I had unfortunately been stuck with, because to feel beautiful was to be less fat, and to live up to their standards was to not look like that. And so I existed in a world where the only voice I could hear inside my own head was screaming, "You've already eaten 2 granola bars today, you're already way past your daily calorie count, and until you feel hungry all the time, it isn't working." And with every growl of my stomach, I felt like I was stabbing the fat girl that destroyed my life. I was 14 years old when I developed an eating disorder, doing anything to numb the pain of being stabbed over and over again for no reason other than I was me and I looked like this, and for some reason that meant I should be punished. Because I'm a big girl living in a world much smaller than the size of my stomach, a world that told me over and over again that I needed to dress to flatter my body, which was really just an overdressed way of them telling me I needed to make myself look thin even if I wasn't. A world that instead of yelling at the boys who made fun of my 7-year-old body in a bikini at summer camp told me to invest in a one-piece because people are mean and there's nothing we can do about that. A world that told me the only characters I'll ever get to play in movies are the fat funny friends, the sidekicks, the punchline to everybody's fucking joke, because that's what I am, right? A joke? A joke of a human being because I'm not their definition of beautiful. Because I'm fat. I was 16 years old when I realized I needed to help this fat girl heal these stab wounds. I was 16 years old when I realized it wasn't fair that she was living her life by the rules and standards of those around her. I was 16 years old when I realized that I am not my body. I am more than my stretch marks. I am more than my cellulite, than my stomach rolls. I am more than a number on a scale and a reflection in the mirror. My body isn't me. It's merely a casing, a packaging for everything that I truly am. So it was time to start loving me. I was 17 years old when I became body positive because it was finally time for me to publicly love the skin that I was in. It was my time to take back the years of self-love that self-loathing had stolen from me. It was my time to reclaim the word fat. F-A-T, a word that previously had done nothing but well up tears in my eyes while making me feel completely inferior to the rest of society. A word that had been used against me to fuel my own self-hate. Fat is not a dirty word. Fat, F-A-T, a word to describe my body. I have stretch marks that run the length of my hips, waist, and stomach. I have cellulite that scatters itself through my thighs. I have rolls on my stomach and a double chin when I laugh. My thighs spread past the edges of my chair when I sit down. My stomach falls past my belt. Fat, F-A-T. I am big and this world is small, but god fucking damn it, this world is gonna learn to make some room because I am fat and I am beautiful, and when I say those words in the same sentence, they sound so good because this time, for one of the first times in my life, I mean it. I am beautiful. I am fat, I am 18 years old, and I will no longer sit back and allow this 3-letter word to do anything but empower me to make a difference in the way this word is dropped from people's lips. Fat, F-A-T. Fat is not an insult, it's not a dirty word, it's not something that should leave your lips dripping in negativity and hate, because you always hear people say, ugh, oh god, I look so fat, but you'll never hear them say, ugh, oh god, I look so skinny, because religiously over and over again we have tattooed this sense of success onto the word skinny and the sense of failure onto the word fat, as though anyone who associates themselves with those 3 letters has lost the greatest race of all time. The race to be beautiful in a society that values one very specific image, and if that 3-letter word even comes close to describing you, you don't fit through the finish line. But that 7-year-old girl scared in her math class because she had to use her weight as the data deserves better. And that 11-year-old girl plagued with the idea that she was taking up too much space in the hallway deserves better. And that 13-year-old girl wrapping her stomach every morning just so that she could feel normal deserves better. And that 14-year-old girl with an eating disorder deserves better. Fat. F-A-T. My body is not a problem. The word fat is not a problem. The problem is that everyone expected it to be.